Hi, I'm Stephen Blacksmith. Now, you may know me as a writer, director, actor, and all around funny person. Now, you may also know me as your estranged husband, and if this is the case, come home, baby. Please. The kids miss you. They need their mom. I'm not enough. Baby. Now, when this quarantine started, I, like many of you, thought, finally, a reason to use my fine arts degree that my parents always ridiculed me for. So I decided to get together with some of my favorite people in the world and talk about their favorite films via Zoom. Now, along the way, we're going to play a lot of games, learn some fun film facts, and watch our guests get pretty silly. Oh, and it is important to know that we do not monetize this program in any way, but we do support some awesome causes, so we're going to put a description of one of these causes in every single episode, and if you feel the need, and if you can, most importantly, please consider donating. Now, kick back, relax, and enjoy Cinema Verite.
Star Wars,
Yeah,
Episode 3.
it's just a masterpiece. It's I don't know. It's pretty interesting because when I was rewatching it, I was trying to watch it without the lens of all the fan stuff that has made the story better. You know, like the Clone Wars, and without all the memes. And it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I guess I'm good at seeing that because I've never seen any of the animated shows. So
Yeah.
none of that's impacted me, but I hear they're really good. I just don't like the animation style, so I never watched it.
Oh, that's a shame. They do a good job of trying to layer it and trying to make Anakin's turn to the dark side be more believable and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's cool. I think it's worth checking out just because it does add a lot to the prequels.
Sure. Well, I mean, speaking of the prequels, you kind of threw us to the wolves here into the third one. So maybe some people watched Star Wars Episode 3 in anticipation of this episode and never saw the first two. I mean, how versed are you on the first two movies?
Not as versed because I just don't enjoy watching them in the slightest. So I only watched the first two I don't know, maybe I watched them 5 years ago. They're just painful to slug through. Whereas episode 3, they at least kind of kick it up a notch a little bit. It's a little more enjoyable to watch.
Sure.
Whereas the other two, I just feel like I'm suffering.
Well, you know what? Maybe you can tell us this. Can you give us just a brief rundown on the first two movies, who the people are, first of all, going into the third movie,
Okay.
and what's going on when we get there?
Okay, so starting with episode 1, The Phantom Menace, the funniest thing about this one is in a lot of online Star Wars viewing guides, they just kind of recommend to skip it because it doesn't really add a lot to episodes 2 and 3. But basically, Obi-Wan and his master Qui-Gon Jinn, they go to Tatooine after some adventure with trade blockades and all that stuff. And
Wait, can you tell us more about the tax credits and the trade war and
no, I can't. I can't. I don't. It's so boring and it adds nothing to the only purpose of episode 1 is they find Anakin and then and then bring him into their Jedi cult. And that's kind of it in terms of the impact that had on the rest of the prequel trilogy. And it doesn't really need to exist. You can watch the prequels starting at episode 2 and you're really not that lost or confused. You might have a little bit less backstory for Obi-Wan and Anakin. You know, Anakin was a slave boy on Tatooine, and his mom was there, and he had to leave the mom behind to go to join the Jedi, and that's really the only backstory that you need for Episode 2,
All right.
which gets explained pretty easily in Attack of the Clones. And in that film, oh geez, the only really important part is Anakin falls in love with Padme, even though it's forbidden for the Jedi to love for a reason that's not explained very well. And then meanwhile, Obi-Wan finds a clone army that is like 10 years in the making, and he kind of misses the clues that it was created by the bad guys. You know, they used a bounty hunter named Jango Fett, and that bounty hunter was trying to kill Padme earlier in the film. Obi-Wan meets Jango Fett and learns that Darth Tyrannus, or Count Dooku, hired him to help breed the clone army, to use his DNA to breed the clone army. And Obi-Wan just kind of doesn't realize that Darth Tyrannus is Count Dooku and is his enemy. So at the end of the film, a big war happens between the Jedi and the clones are made by the bad guys, but they didn't notice that, versus the Trade Federation and the droids. And Anakin loses his hand and marries Padme against the will of the Jedi.
Wow. And that's it.
That's it. Yeah, it's 4 hours to explain that. It's
Sure.
oof.
Well, I have 2 games that we could play for you to tell us what the plot of Episode 3 is. We're going to play a little game. It used to be called Synopsis, and now it is called... All right?
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. And the reason it's called is because you are going to tell us, as best you can, Episode 3's plot from start to finish, but you're going to do it without using a vowel that I'm going to assign to you.
Okay.
So if I say you can't use E, then it's like, how do you say the word the?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you use a word with that letter, I'm going to give you a strike. And if you get 3 strikes, I'm going to take away another letter.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have no letters so quickly. All right, here we go.
All right. So I am actually going to take away A. You cannot say words with A in it.
Okay.
All right.
The film opens with clones and droids.
Oh,
I'm a fool.
strike 1.
The film opens with clones / droids.
Slash. Well, no, I'll let the slash slide because
Yeah. Fighting in fighting in the vacuum
Oh,
outside.
Vacuum.
Wow, this is difficult. All right.
you got this.
Obi and his.
Well, and that's 3 strikes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have
Oh
to take
Lord,
away
this is hard.
I'll make it easy for you, okay? I'll take away a U. So you can't say
Okay.
A or U, but if you
Okay.
get 3 more strikes, I'm kicking you out of the game.
Okay. Well, it's all right. It's going pretty quick. So this. Okay. All right.
Something.
I
You could say the
without
word
A's.
Jedi all the time.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Jedi try to liberate
Liberate.
Chancellor.
Two
Well,
more.
that's just because I can't spell. Wow, this is harder than I thought it would be. All right. So Jedi try to help Chancellor.
Chancellor, that's another one.
I'm bad. Oh my goodness gracious. It's it's hard with like character names as well, and then I
Right?
don't think of I don't think of or like all the little words, I'm thinking of the big words.
Exactly.
Obi's trainee. Oh, trainee. No,
Oh,
dang it,
no!
dude. I'm bad. All right, just skip it. Oh my goodness
You
gracious.
lost the game.
Yeah, that was the hardest game I think. Yeah, what?
That's a difficult game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta
All right.
admit. But you know what? Maybe the trailer can help us figure out just what's going on here. Lucasfilm. I like
This
how
is the most iconic scene in the film, in my opinion.
it's a bit ridiculous. And it's like, how did nobody see this guy was evil?
I
You know?
know. Oh man.
Whoa.
At least here there's like actual Star Wars happening in this film, whereas the other two didn't really have that.
Yeah, I agree. Although I did like that big battle in the end when they were like in the arena in the second one with the
Mhm.
monsters and stuff.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. You had to suffer through the first 90% of the film to get to that, but
You know what really pissed me off about this movie though is that like Padme is nothing in episode 3. Like she's home getting ready to have a baby. You know?
yeah.
In the
Doesn't-
first
yeah.
2 movies, she's total badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's there for the plot to move forward.
Yeah.
For Anakin's arc to keep going. But and then Chewbacca just had to be in there for the action figures. You gotta sell your Chewie action figures.
You gotta.
Oh, and then all the Jedi we don't care about.
Who are
die.
just like nothing. It's like one stormtrooper shoots them, and then the Jedi are dead. Like they suck. Everyone that's killed in Order 66 is just like weak, like weak sauce.
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe it's rushed. Maybe that's why they felt just rushed with everything.
Yeah, the whole film just felt
Whoa!
like
Star Wars. Oh,
and then gotta tie everything up in a nice little bow, even though there's 30 years of lore between this film and A New Hope, but that's okay.
yeah. What are you gonna do? But
Mhm.
that's it, honestly. Like, I mean, you can pretty much gather everything from the trailer. What happens in the end? Anakin becomes Darth Vader. All that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, because like Anakin's the only character with an arc really in these films. Like he's the only character that goes through substantial change, and it just doesn't work because it's so quick like Palpatine just kind of has this vague promise that he'll help save Padme from dying.
Mhm.
And then so Anakin betrays Mace Windu and is like, help me save Padme from dying. And Palpatine goes, well, to cheat death is something only one has discovered, but if we work together, we'll figure it out. And Padme is like 9 months pregnant. Like, they don't have time to figure it out. Like, that moment, Anakin should have been like, oh my goodness, I've been tricked. What is happening? But
Well, he's not a very bright guy. I mean, he's just,
yeah. But lapses in logic are just the worst way to progress a story, and he has so many. Oh man, like
hey, he's going with his heart, all right?
true.
Jeez.
He's in love. It's the will of the. He has to, and this is something that was kind of fleshed out in the Clone Wars, but it was like Anakin was supposed to bring balance to the Force, and the Jedi had the Force so imbalanced because there were so many Jedi, and they were just like this own little cult kind of. And that's like a little bit fleshed out in the Clone Wars, but like that's not clear at all in the prequels, and so
You
much
can't
of
just have characters saying those things and let us believe that they're true. not gonna-
right.
That's all
Exactly.
Darth Sidious does, or is that his name?
Mhm.
And Emperor Palpatine. And all they do are like, the Jedi are bad. You know, if Emperor Palpatine was like, the Jedi are bad because they never invite me to their pool parties, it's like it would make just as much sense. It's just saying they're a dangerous cult.
Yeah, yeah, for real. And I don't know. At least we have Ian McDiarmid's performance as Palpatine and Ewan McGregor's as Obi-Wan. Those are like the two golden bright stars that I was like, okay, I'm like entertained while I'm watching this. Like
This is every Star Wars nerd's dream, I'm sure. Which I'm a Star Wars nerd, so yeah. George Lucas in the 70s, let's say he never made the first 3 Star Wars movies. And let's say that Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3, they came out at the same time, early 2000s.
Okay.
And now we're in charge with Lucasfilm of developing Star Wars episode 4. You're going to kick off a new trilogy sequel. So what's going on here? Like, you could do anything in the world. What would you do?
so I have to start off right after episode 3, basically, I would
Honestly,
think.
you
And I
could.
would
You could start 1,000 years in the future. It doesn't matter.
Ooh. That would be cool. I'd like to think that that Obi-Wan and Yoda wouldn't just immediately give up like they do in the film. And maybe they go into exile for a little bit and try to like rally as many Jedi as they can and try to like form their own uprising, you know, try to thwart the power at B. And I think it would be cool if they tried to like prove that Palpatine was power grabbing the whole time, and they have this like investigation to have proof to the entire universe that this was all orchestrated. And that's one like props that I would give to the prequels is like how a totalitarian government does rise is through lies and deceit and fear mongering, and
Yeah.
they do okay with that. But I would like to think that Obi-Wan and Yoda don't just give up right away, and they try to just like rally as many Jedi as they can. And meanwhile, you know, you have Darth Vader just going about like hunting down the last of the remaining Jedi. and at some point he probably finds someone super powerful, and since it, for some reason the Sith love to betray each other, why doesn't he have his own secret apprentice that he trains himself? That would be cool, I guess. Though I mean, it's hard to mess with perfection. Like, the original trilogy is the best Star Wars story to go after the prequels. I would love to see 1,000 years into the future, though. Like, what if the Emperor and Vader just like ruled with an iron fist for 1,000 years, and it was just ingrained, like, Jedi bad. You know, there are only two people are allowed to use the Force, and that's your supreme ruler and his apprentice, and any other use of the Force is outlawed. I think that would be kind of interesting. If they weren't thwarted, how much would they suppress? You know, how, like, what information would be available to, like, the average Coruscant citizen on the uprising? And, you know, history always leans to the side of the victors. So how would they?
Yeah.
You know, how would they show that Jedi are bad? You have the Force and you're bad. You're evil. Like you need to, and yeah, just like the whole. Because in Star Wars, especially in the original trilogy, like, the Empire does seem like an iron fist. You know what I'm saying? And what if they got, like, enough time had passed where they get out of that iron fist and it's all just like a perfectly implemented propaganda from like childbirth to the end? You know, you are just raised to believe, like, oh, the Empire did a good thing, you know, like, if we were under control of the Jedi, what could happen? That would be interesting. And then someone tries to discover the truth behind it all, maybe through, like, some Jedi holocron that was lost in some forbidden temple on a random planet, you know. So, I don't know. Something like that.
Dude, that sounds way too far-fetched. I don't see any parallels of what's going on today with what you're proposing. I don't know if I can see myself in this story. Which Star Wars character are you? Star Wars Episode 3, I should say. Which Star Wars Episode 3 character do you think you are?
I see a group of younglings, do I?
Well, just off the top of your head, before we go through the thing, who do you see yourself as?
What character do I see myself as?
Yeah. Who do you identify with?
Oh, geez.
Admiral Ackbar.
Let's do it.
All right. Now, you see a group of younglings. Do you, A, kill them all? B, get someone to kill them for you? C, hang out with them, sign some autographs or something? Or D, teach them something?
Well, if I'm Admiral Ackbar, I teach them something, for sure.
Well, there you go. And now, you don't have to be Admiral Ackbar, just letting you know.
Okay.
How do you feel about sand? A, it's coarse, I hate it. B, it always gets in the creases of my face skin. C, I could live in a sandy area for decades. Or D, I'm indifferent, but my boo despises it.
It's coarse, I hate it. Admiral Ackbar is a fish person.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. Now, what color is your lightsaber? A, red. B, blue. C, I prefer a blaster. Or D, I prefer my cold, dead lightning hands.
I like to think that Admiral Ackbar was hiding some, like, force power, so I'm gonna go with cold, dead lightning hands.
Oh, cool.
In my fan fiction, he's a Jedi.
The love of your life just let you down. Do you A, destroy them? B, suffer from stress-induced cardiomyopathy? C, find someone new? Or D, completely rebel against everything they stand for?
Suffer from stress-induced cardio, with that word.
Yeah, sure. Little heart just can't take it. Now, how do you feel about the Jedi Order? A, they're terrible, kill them all. B, they're always getting in the way of my plans. C, I trust them wholeheartedly. Or D, there are plenty of reasons for me to doubt their intentions, but I'll suck it up and follow their orders until I die.
D, definitely. Yeah.
D, all right. You're Obi-Wan. You're old Ben Kenobi, I should say.
Ooh.
Perfect. Nobody will be able to find you on Tatooine with a name like that. It's almost as if you were in the mob named Sam Smith and had to go into witness protection program under the name Sam Smythe. It's stupid. Plus, why hide Anakin's kid on the planet where Anakin is from? Seems like dumb choices all around.
Man, I'd like to think that Obi-Wan operated under the logic that Anakin will never return to the Tatooine, where there's a lot of sand and his mother died and he felt nothing but pain and misery. Like, I think that was his logic for dropping off Luke there. It's like,
You think so?
and Anakin ain't gonna hover over this planet unless he's chasing a
And we could already
ship.
tell that Anakin's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So, like, he won't also think, like, oh, it's that reverse psychology thing where Obi-Wan's hiding it in the place he thinks I don't want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
Wait, am I imagining this, or did the Emperor tell Darth Vader that the kids died or something?
I don't think that he told him anything about the fate of his kids. He just said, "You killed Padme. Sorry." And I think Anakin assumed that Padme died before she gave birth, I think.
Okay.
But
So he
I'm
doesn't
not-
even think, like, my kids are out there.
no, I don't think so. I don't. I think it's like a forced thing once he meets Luke. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute. And like, but you
Weird.
could- I sense a lot of power in you, kind of like me.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty
You also have my last name. What is going on?
Oh, let's hope there's not galactic back child support payments that he has to make. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Take it easy.
It's fun. Thank you. Have a good one.